Hi YouTube, Tim Unkert here. In this video we are going to factor quadratics where a is greater than 1, there's no common factor, and some of the factors are going to be negative. Now let's start with this first one. We've got 10x squared minus x minus 2. So this is really like minus 1x here. I'm going to list the positive factors of 10 to start. So we'll do 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. Now I know when I list the factors of negative 2, I've got to have one positive and one negative. So I really got to have 1 times negative 2 or negative 1 times positive 2. Now we want the sum of the products of the factors. So when I match up a pair from here with a pair from here, I want that sum of that products to equal negative 1. So I've got to look and figure out how would I do that. Well, if I do positive 5 times negative 1, that gives me negative 5. If I add that to 2 times 2, so add that to 4, I'm going to get negative 1. Now notice here how I'm combining, numbers from this pair multiplying by numbers from this pair. You got to stay consistent with the pairs. 4 plus negative 5 is negative 1, so that equals the middle coefficient. So this is the combination I want. 2 and 5 are going to be my coefficients in front of x. So I'm going to have a 2x and a 5x. Now I want the 5x to multiply by negative 1, so I'm going to have to make this 2x minus 1 here. Negative 1 times 5x, the inner terms multiply together. And I want 2x to multiply by 2, so I'm going to have to make a plus 2 here. And there we go. That's all there is to that first one. So this is the factored form for the first one. Let's try a few more to make sure we get the hang of this. All right, problem 2, we're factoring 6x squared minus 11x plus 3. So again, I'm going to list the positive factors of 6, so 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. Now I have a negative number here and a positive number here. So I have to have two negative numbers multiply to get this positive number, so that when I have my combination of factors, I will add to a negative number. So I'm going to pick negative 1 and negative 3. And now we've got to figure out the combination that will give us negative 11. Well, if I multiply 3 here by negative 3 here, that gives me negative 9. And then if I multiply this 2 by this negative 1, that gives me negative 2. And negative 9 plus negative 2 is negative 11. So I know my combination, okay? So I'm going to have 2x here. 2 and 3 are my coefficients in front of x, so 2x and 3x, fix that 3. And then I want the 3 to multiply by negative 3, so I'm going to have to put a minus 3 here, because the inner terms multiply together. And I want the 2 to multiply by the negative 1, so I'm going to have to put the negative 1 here, because the outer terms multiply together. And there we go, that's my factored form for that one. Let's keep going. All right, problem 3, factor 35x squared minus 18x minus 5. Okay, so I'm going to list the factors of 35. So 1 and 35. And I'm going to stick to positive factors for my factors of my coefficient in front of x squared. And then 5 and 7. Now we have a negative here and a negative here. So I'm going to have a negative and a positive factor, so either negative 1 times positive 5 or positive 1 times negative 5. I want my sum of my products to add to negative 18. So if I do positive 5 times negative 5, that gives me negative 25. I would then have to use 7 and 1, multiply those two together, because I've got to, if I pick one from a pair here, I've got to use the other one. Same with here. So I have to do 7 times 1. That gives me positive 7. Negative 25 plus 7 is negative 18. So that's the combination I want. 5 and 7 are my coefficients in front of x. So I have 5x and 7x. I want the 5x here to multiply by negative 5 here. So this is an outer term, so I have to put negative 5 on the outside here. And I want 7x to multiply by 1, so 7x to multiply 1, so I have to put a plus 1 here. And there we go. That's my factored form for that one. Okay, last problem, problem 4. Factor 2x squared minus 17x plus 21. Okay, so I'm going to list the factors of 2, which are just 1 and 2, positive factors. And for 21, I'm going to list only negative factors because we're multiplying to a positive, but we have our sum of our products be negative. So you could do negative 1 times negative 21, or negative 3 times negative 7. Now, if I multiply positive 2 by negative 7, that gives me negative 14. I then would have to multiply 1 by negative 3, which is negative 3. Negative 14 plus negative 3 is negative 17. So that's the combination I want, and 1 and 2 are my coefficients in front of x. Now in math, a lot of times we don't write the 1 in front of x, so I'm just going to write x here and 2x here. Okay, I want the 1 to multiply by negative 3, the 1x to multiply by negative 3. So this x must multiply by negative 3, so negative 3 has got to be on the outside. And I want the 2x here to multiply by negative 7, so we got to put that on the inside. And there we go. We got factored form for that one. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, please like and subscribe.